Hello, this is Mr. Rickman coming to you again with another tutorial over Google Forms, this time talking about advanced sharing settings. So in the previous video, we worked on creating a quiz here, right? And we talked about how to send this quiz out to your students via Google Classroom. However, look, we're on an island, right? Teachers, we collaborate all the time, whether it's with our fellow colleagues in the same department, maybe it's with the department head, maybe with administrators, right? We're collaborating all the time, and especially during this period of remote teaching, it can be really critically important that we actually collaborate online with each other to help make sure the students are successful. So we want to send this quiz out to a colleague, right? Maybe we want them to come in, maybe they're going to add some more questions, right? We only have 3 questions here. Maybe they're going to come in and add some more questions, or maybe they know a lot more about some of the sharing settings, so they're going to come in and mess with that a little bit, right? How do I send this quiz to my coworkers? So what I would do is I'm going to go up here to where it says send. Now notice if I click this link and send this link to them, or if I send it out via email, that's going to make it as if they are going to complete the quiz. They won't be able to edit anything. They're going to basically be like a student in this regard. So I don't want to send it out via there. Instead, I'm going to click Add Collaborators. So we get to this screen, and this allows you to type in people's emails. Maybe you have a group set up in Google Drive or in your Gmail as far as sending information out. So you can start typing that in, and then their emails will pop up, and you can start, seeing their names, right? You see I'm already getting names popping up here, right? You would add in their name, and then they would be able to actually see this form and edit it. You can change some settings as far as whether or not they have permission to change who can see everything or who can be shared with and whatnot. You can change it so maybe they don't have the option to download and print or copy this quiz. That's kind of up to your discretion. By default, it's set to restricted, so only people you add will be able to see this link or do anything with it. If you go through and change that, you have 3 options. There's restricted, which is by default. You can set it within your district. So if you have a special district email, that means that anyone within your district will be able to use this link and edit, right? If you click this gear, you can also set it so that they can actually search for the file. So if they go in their drive, they could search quiz, and they'd be able to find that quiz in there if, it was a little less generic. And the other option is just anyone with the link. So anyone who gets the link, regardless of whether they're in your district, regardless of whether they've been added up here, if they have that link, they can go in and edit it, right? And that's something just to be cautious about, because they can go in and view responses and delete them if they so choose, right? So what that means is they could actually go in and see these responses, say an individual response, say, oh, well, I don't like that person, I'm going to delete their response, right? And they could actually go through and delete a student's work. So that's kind of the basics of how to share a quiz out with your colleagues. Now, with regards to this, sometimes there might be a situation where you want to send it out to the teachers so that they can create their own copy, right? Because if you send this out and then those teachers share this quiz with their students via Google Classroom, like so, right, their students' responses will begin showing up here. Now, if you're a small, department, if you only have maybe 30-40 students total who are going to be getting this quiz anyways, okay, that's not too big of a deal. But if you're in a much larger campus, a much larger department, you might end up having 500, 600 students coming in and responding to this, and that would be a lot to try to sort through to try to find your students and see, well, how did my students specifically do? What you can then do to help fix this is you can set it so that each teacher gets their own editable copy, so that then when they go in and share this out, their responses don't show up on yours. The way you do this, the easiest way I found to do this, is you go up here and notice at the top, at the end here, I have this nice long link, and then it says /edit. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to change that to /copy. So once I copy this link here, all right, if I send this out to other teachers, say I'm another teacher, and they click that link, they're going to get to a screen that looks like this. So instead of going automatically to your form specifically, they have to make a copy. And once they make a copy, that copy is theirs entirely. So they can do whatever they want with this, right? Like I could change this and say Mr. Rickman's quiz, right? But I go back here, that's not been edited, right? It still just says quiz, right? They could go in and change questions, change answers. They could say, oh, well, instead of 10 points for this one, it's going to be worth 50 points. But if I go back to mine, hey, it's still only worth those 10 points. And so it allows you to allows other teachers to edit their, to personalize it based on what they want without messing with what you've created. Not only that, but note that up here, there's, I still have my 3 responses, but on here, there's none. Nobody's taken this version of this quiz yet. And anytime someone does, that's not going to show up here. So say one student takes this quiz here, like let's say I'm just going to pretend I'm going to take this quiz really quickly here. Right, and I'll just go through, click some things, do for, I know they're wrong, but we're going to go through and collect it, right? I have 1 response here. I still only have 3 responses here. So it didn't add that last response to this form. And that's just an easy way of sharing it out without having to worry about, oh, well, or is a teacher going to accidentally break something on the quiz, right? So yeah, hopefully this tutorial has been helpful to you. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any feedback, any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for your time again. Have a wonderful day, stay safe out there, and as always, don't get arrested.